Welcome to Collecting Chaos and a special edition. I'm going to call this the Sunday Special, number 1. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you the process I use when I clean a comic from start to finish. I won't show you the actual pressing of it. I just don't see a need to do that. There are so many videos online on how to press comics that you don't need to see me do that. So let's get started with this video. Before I get started, actually, I have a few new comics. I got 3, and I thought I'd show them to you. Oh, this one is still attached to the cardboard. I didn't take it off the cardboard yet. Yeah, people think they have to use this plastic packing tape to attach a comic book to a piece of freaking cardboard. Blue tape, people, blue tape. It's the best way to go. Alrighty then. They say this one is a 6.0. I'll be the judge of that. And it is 80-page giant number 5. Batman, silver anniversary issue. Take it out of this crap, because that is definitely not what it's going to stay in. I have a silver gold mylar with a full back with its name on it. It's got a little damage to the corners here, soft corner here with a small line. It's got a small crease here. Oh, that's not a small crease, that's a very large crease. They tried to hide it with the press. Don't hide things from me, people. You do not hide things from me. That right there, that long crease there, keeps it from being fine, I'll tell you that. This is not a 6.0 comic. It is fairly clean, though. So I'll give him that. Yeah. That's a shame about that long crease. I would say this is, very good. Maybe on a really generous day I might give it a very good plus, but that crease, that crease is 8 inches long. That is a major defect. Such a pretty comic. Even with the crease, it still is a really pretty comic. I don't know if I'm going to clean this one or not. Probably not. I'll probably just put it in the Mylar. I'll give it a general going over, but before I put it in the Mylar. But I'm not going to do anything else to it. The next one, Jungle Avengers number 10. Jungle Adventures number 10. This is from Super Comics. Quality Comics, whichever. Let's see what condition this is. Now, this person did not state a condition. Could use a clean. Staples are off. Yeah, they're not rusted or anything, but they're definitely discolored. Got good spacing between the staples at the top and the bottom of the comic, which a lot of people don't think that's important, but I happen to think it is. I'm going to call these tan pages. This is a reprint from 1963. Jungle Adventures is published by Super Comics. Contents copyrighted and must not be reproduced without permission. Reprinted in USA 1963. So this is a reprint. Probably something from the 40s. Nice, nice, nice. Overall, it's in pretty nice shape. Not crazy about those light tan colors. Ooh, it has had some water damage in the past. I believe this book has been pressed also. Definitely needs to be cleaned. I think I'm going to give this one a little bit of love. Not going to go crazy on it, just a little bit. But that's not the one we're going to work on today. Get rid of that crap. And finally, I got Creatures on the Loose, number 10, my second copy. But this one is CGC graded at a 9.2. I thought it was higher than that. Meh, it doesn't matter. 9.2 is fine. Well, actually, it's more than fine. It's got white pages. First full appearance of King Kull. Robert E. Howard story adaptation. March of 1971. Too bad I can't scan the barcode and find out more information on it. But as I am not the original person to get it graded, I can't get that information from CGC. They won't release it to me, and that's crap. Anyone should be able to scan this barcode and get the information without having to pay for it. But it is what it is. So there you go. That's the three comics I got. I got some other items today. I got some collecting supplies. I got some more silver gold with. I went ahead and got the full backs for it, and then I got some more Mippet paper because I was out of it, and we'll talk about that at a later date. And I got some My Light 2s. These are smaller. These are made for paperback books. I'm going to see if they fit my Reader's Digest in paperback books. 6 1/4 by 10 1/2. I am going to see if my yeah, we're going to see how it fits my Big Little books. And if not, I have a ton of paperbacks that will appreciate these a lot. So, on with the cleaning. Alright, I guess you're wondering what comic I'm going to clean. Recently I purchased a lot of House of Mystery comics, and there were 2 duplicates, and I had already promised those duplicates to a member of the auction, and I'm going to send them along. I already cleaned one. I cleaned it last night, which was House of Mystery, number 126, it looks like, or 125, I don't remember which. I did not make any notes on this. I just did it off as a lark. I hadn't planned on doing anything other than, you know, just a light dusting, and I ended up doing a major cleaning to it. And then I got ready, and then I thought, well, I'll do the other one. And I further thought, well, wait a minute, somebody asked if I would go over how I wet clean a comic. So I thought, well, yeah, I will. If this one comes to that, then I'll do it. And I decided I would go ahead and document the entire process. So here we have House of Mystery number 129. This is from December of 1962. I already took some notes on the comic as to things I found wrong with it. House of Mystery number 129, December 1962. It has some UV fading up here. Edge chipping along the front cover. It has a 3/4 inch spine split right down here. It's not really bad, but it's there. It has discolored staples, some stress creases. and it has 4 creases that are at least 1.5 inches or greater, and possibly it has a possible insect chew on the center of the back cover, and I'm going to show you that now. That's right there. The pages are cream colored and they are supple. They're nice. Very minor, what people call that old comic book smell, which is actually very minor acidic. Yeah, it's got a very minor acidic smell to it, but that's not a problem. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is the same thing I do when I get ready to put a comic in Mylar. We get out some pads and I just go over the front of the comic and see what I can pull out. I apply a small amount of pressure, not much, and sometimes this is all a comic book would need. If it was a new comic, this is all I would do to it. And yes, I do this with every comic I prepare to put into Mylar, because I don't want any dust or dirt on it. And let's see what came off. Very little. Now I'll use the other side of the pad and go over the back. This is where that spine split is, right there. But I don't think they'll complain about it, since I'm not going to charge them for these comics. I'm just going to send them to them. And yeah, that's money out of my pocket, because I did buy them. And I will end up paying the shipping. But that's alright. So very little dirt came off of this, but I can still see dirt on it. And so that makes it a candidate for a wet cleaning. Before I do that though, before I do any wet cleaning on it, I'm going to warm this comic up. And I'm going to go over it again with another pad and see if any dirt comes off from the warmth. When you warm a comic, what you're doing is you're relaxing the pages, and the pages are relaxed and the cover is relaxed. You might get a little more dirt off of it. So let me go warm it up in my press and I'll be right back. And I'm back, and it's nice and warm. As you can see, it's relaxed a little bit. So now we're going to go over it again and see if we don't get a little more dirt out of the cover without doing any kind of wet cleaning. Very little. The cover overall looks pretty clean. I have a feeling someone has cleaned it a little bit before. Probably not very much. At least it was wiped off. It has a little chip down here I didn't notice before, but that's okay. I did take the time while it was warming up to make a computer print of all of the defects. We're going to go ahead and give this a wet cleaning. I think it will benefit greatly because it does have some dirt over here that isn't coming out. So I think what I need is an old backing board, if I can find one. What the hell is this? Yeah, what the yeah, what the hell? I need a bigger backing board than these. These are old backing boards that I use for crap. There's some of the old one-sided backing boards, although I have some good ones in there still. but I don't have anything the size I need, so let me go grab one. Although I should have one here. Yeah, let me go back grab one. I'll be right back. And I'm back again, and I got a magazine size backing board, which is what I generally use for this. This is an old one, which will make it perfect for this. Put it in there like that, turn it sideways. Now we're going to zoom the camera in just a little bit so you can get a better idea of what I'm going to do. And I'm going to put a glove on. You don't see me do this very often, but I'm going to be dealing with a chemical here. And not good to get a chemical on your hands, even if it's a harmless chemical. I prefer not to get it on my hands. And this is from Immaculate Comics, and this is his Immaculate solution in distilled water. I still haven't gotten my deionized water yet. Take a fresh makeup pad, make sure it's turned so that I can get it in there. And in his little kit he supplies this, so I highly recommend his product. Seems to work pretty good. And I got some on there, and now I'm just going to start lightly going over this. I know people are freaking out because I'm putting stuff on a comic, but it's not my first rodeo. I've done this before, and hopefully we'll see a little dirt come off of it. If it doesn't, this is going to be a very short video, although it's not exactly short already. I'm going to upload the full video. It will take a while. I already know that. Look at that. That's how much dirt I got off of that already. Most of it right here, I think. And I do use both sides of the makeup pad. Alright, I think a little ink is coming off too, so I'm not going to do too much more to it. Close that. What we're going to do is I'm going to take my brush and put it on the inside, and I'm just going to let it dry. I'm going to let it air dry for a few minutes, and then I'll go over it one more time, and then we'll do the back cover. And I'll be back after it dries. And I'm back. And we're going to go over this one more time. The nice part about the older comics is that they have a lot of ink on them. So even though this is taking off a small amount of the green, it's not really going to affect it that much. And we'll let this dry. Okay, it's time to flip it over, and we're going to do the back side. Now this is not going to take much at all. The back is really fairly clean. It's just got this one area down here and a little dirt in here. So I'm going to go and a little bit along the spine. So I'm going to go over the whole thing, but it doesn't need much. See what we can get off of this, if anything. I have used this to take and lessen the effects of water stains or tide marks. It's not that good at it, but it does work. And we're going to let it dry, and then I'll go over it one more time, and then that'll be it. Hang on a second. Can't let it dry yet. I missed a spot. How did I miss a spot? There we go. And one more time. I use a lot of these makeup pads when I clean a comic. They're cheap, so why not? Use as many as I need. And no, I don't raid my wife's makeup, although she would, I'm sure she would raid mine. Not that I have makeup. She would raid the makeup pads if she needed them. Okay. One last time, let it dry. Then we're going to go back to the front cover again. Put the MacuClean away because I'm done with it. That stuff should be kept in a dark place. It is photoreactive, so light will affect it. And I do generally keep it in the dark. I keep it in a closet most of the when I'm not using it. The amount of dirt I got off that other House of Mystery was just unreal. These pads, they're not showing a whole lot, but the ones from last night when I was cleaning the other House of Mystery, they were black. It was coming off black. I jokingly put in the comments that I thought I had enough dirt come off of that comic to repave my drive. I'm going to turn this video off for a few seconds while this dries. I think I'm ready for the final step, or for one of the final steps. I've got a nice clean pad here. Going to put it in a tiny bit of water, not sink water. I have to use distilled water because I don't have any deionized water. I will be getting some. It's on order. I don't know when it's going to show up. And I'm going to go over the comic with that now. What I'm doing is I'm removing the soap. And that's literally what MacuClean is. It's a type of soap. Formulated. Yeah. A lot of crap. And I have to let that dry. And I you know, all of it is air dried. There are people that say, why don't you use peroxide on the books? I don't do that. I don't like the idea. It does cause some damage to the book. Of course, anything you do to a comic can damage it. Let it dry. I'll be right back. I went ahead and turned it over so I can do the back. Same thing. I doubt that I even use a 1/4 teaspoon of water when I'm doing this. And what this does is it takes off paper particles, or what paper finds. There's one more process after this, and then we'll be ready to press it. If you're doing this, you have to be super gentle with the comic. As it's damp or wet, it is in a very fragile state. Comics, when they get wet, it loosens the binds that hold the paper together. That's why when I saw that stress crease, I immediately said, okay, this is not a candidate for a soak. Not that it needs it. It doesn't need one anyway. But a soak or a slant board, I would not put it on there because of that spine split, because that tells me that the spine is already weak, and I don't want to do any repairs to this comic. All I want to do is clean it. And I've had too many that I've tried to clean and ended up having to do repairs. So we're going to let this dry. Then I'll show you the very last step I do, and we'll put it in the press and show you what the finished product came out to be like, and how I put it in a Mylar. All right, last step, or close to the last step. Get some more of these. No water on it, no MacuClean on it, just dry. And basically I'm polishing the comic. I'm getting all those paper fines that are left over and removing them. Now very little, I mean, I can't see anything on this, so the average person might look at it and say, oh, I can use that again. No, toss it. Once you've used it, no matter what, toss it. Because you don't know what is actually on there. And if you take a look, it's got a lot of gloss on it. Now if you look at this, it looks a little hazy. Take it. Might need to go over this back with water one more time. I think it's still got a little soap on it. So we're going to go over it with water one more time just to make sure I get all of that stuff off of it. Nastiness. It's just paper fines. And we'll be right back. And I'm back, and we'll go over this one more time. I wish I had that deionized water. It would work so much better for this. Okay, it's time for the last step, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the glove off. My hands are sweaty. Do I want to touch this comic? No, I'm going to go wash my hands. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Hands are all clean. No more sweat on them. I'm going to take this. I'm going to go prep it, put it in my press, and I will show you the final results. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Well, it'll be about an hour for me, a few minutes for you. Okay, let's recap what I've done so far. I went through and cleaned the comic. I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I used 12 makeup pads and a glove. Total cost maybe 25-30 cents. I used some of the ImmacuClean. This is a little more expensive, but for the amount that I used, it didn't cost much. Now, let's look at the comic. It's been pressed. It's a lot flatter. I think it looks better. But then, you know, I did the work, so I'm a little bit biased on that. So what's the next step after this? Well, the first thing I have to do is see if it'll fit in this Mylar that I have, and yes, it will. If I put it off to the side, it's got about 1/4 of an inch, which is plenty of room. So we're going to put it, this is a regular silver bronze Mylar. Here's a backing board that's just about the right size. So I'm going to put the comic on the backing board. Insert it into the Mylar very carefully, because I do not want to create any bends where I just cleaned and where I just pressed it. Get it in the Mylar, flatten it out, flip it over. Now I don't do this with mine. What I use with mine, with my comics and my Mylars, is I have a little label that I print out and I put it up here. Or which side? I think it's on this side. But for this one, since I'm not keeping it, I'm sending it to somebody else, I take all that information that I found in the beginning and I put it inside the back like this. So they have all the information that I found on it. House of Mystery, 129, December 1962. Cream and supple pages. Minor UV fading in the upper left corner. Edge chipping on the front, 3/4 inch spine split below a lower staple. Discolored staples, some color breaking stress creases on the spine, which are a lot less visible now with the press, but they're still there. 4 creases of 1 1/4 inches or greater on the front cover. That's here, 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 and here. And there's another smaller one here that I missed. Possible insect chew on the back near the center of the spine, which I showed you. And overall grade, I would give it a very good 4.0. Then I put down, book was given a cleaning and press on March 6, 2021, featured on Collecting Chaos YouTube video for March 7th, 2021, which should be when you're watching this, unless you watch it later. Now that that's done, I do the final. I fold the flap, bring it in. Once I pull it tight, I back it off just a little bit, and then I put the tape on it. Hold it up and crease it. The reason I back it off a little bit, I want a very small gap up here so any gas can come out. Now on my own comics, I would have taken one of these and put it in the center. But since I'm not keeping this, I didn't do that. These do get a little expensive, especially when you're dealing with thousands of comics. But there you go. And that's how I wet clean a comic. This one doesn't have a sheet because I didn't do anything, because I didn't think about it. And I don't want to make one now for it. Since I didn't clean this one on the video, I don't think I needed to do that. Let's back it up a little bit. As a comic ages, it will have gases escape from it, and you want those gases to get out of the sleeve. And that's why I leave a little gap there. But there you go. All done. Let me get this edited and uploaded so you can watch it on Sunday morning. And we'll see you next video, which will be Monday, the Monday morning show. Take care. Make sure you wash your hands before you handle your comics. And bye.